Okay, I'm going to go over how I created the little TV monitor that I display other videos and things in on some of my videos. Basically what I did is I just went out to the web and I searched for images of flat screen TVs. So I found this one out here. You want to get a real high resolution one so that you can initially set the whole image to 1920 by 1080 if you're going to do high def videos. So anyway, we've got this TV here. It's a Samsung, and I pulled it off the web. Now, what first thing I need to do is I've got this on this kind of green background just so you can see the size of the image and how it was. It was an image of a flat screen TV on a white background. Then what I need to do is I need to mask out this little screen image of outer space circling the Earth that they've got on there. So what I've done is I've created this rectangle over here using the rectangle tool here in Corel. You could do this from any other graphics program. I've created a rectangle that'll fit in there, and I've put a red outline on it so I can see it. So let's just see if we can't move that in there. And we're going to come on in here and look. If once you get the rectangle in there, you can then adjust it to fit just inside. And now we're getting ready to export this, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the outline. So what I end up with is just the image with a white screen. So it's on a white background, white screen. And then I'm going to go up here and I'm going to do export it. And let's go down and go to where I'm doing this video. And I have tons of folders, people. Tons of folders. Okay. I'll be getting down in there. So we're going to come into here and we're going to export this as a PNG because that's going to allow us to have transparency on some stuff, okay? So we're going to export this. Now it comes up into here and I go ahead and set transparent background, that kind of stuff. So okay, and we save it out. And okay. So we've got that. And what we're going to do is we're going to open up our Monitor 2 PNG file that we just saved out. And here it is. So now here's that image that we have. Now this is Photoshop. There's, again, some other graphic utilities out there you can use to do the same thing. So the first thing I want to do is I want to clear the white. So I'm going to get what they call in here the magic eraser. And I'm just going to hit it right there. And that pulls all that out and gives it on a transparent, totally transparent background. It gets rid of that white background that we had on there. Now you may have to play with the tolerances here to get it to cut clean, depending on the quality of your image. I'm also going to take out the inside. So we've got that. Now I'm going to take this image and I'm going to first check the image size, and we're way up there, as you can see. Okay. So let's take this down and let's do 1080. So what we've got now is we've got an image that's 1080 by 14 something. That won't fill our screen in the width, but it will fill our screen on our videos in the height. So at this point, we're going to go to our image and we're going to adjust the canvas size. and we're going to bring this to pixels, and we're going to say 1920, and we're going to allow it to center it. On there, we're not changing the height, we're just changing the width. We say okay. So now what we have is we have a 1920 by 1080 background area with our monitor in it. Now, once we get over in the video, in manipulating this in the video, this inside part of the TV, we're going to leave it transparent. Okay, so we can place our videos behind it. The front part of the screen, the image here, which is around here, we need to be able to block out certain things behind it, or let certain other things show into it that are not the same as the video that we're showing in there. So we're going to use a process over in the video editor called chroma keying. Now, most of you have probably heard of green screen and blue screen and stuff like that, and that's basically what it is. But that's really called chroma key. And the problem that we would have with the type of videos that we make is that we're going to be filming a lot of stuff outside and things, and so there's a lot of green. So green screen is not really going to work for us. So we need to have a color that we're going to chroma key out that we're almost rarely likely to encounter in our videos. So what I've chosen is a hot pink. There's really not much hot pink in nature, unless probably you go out into the Amazon jungle and find some of those birds, you know, or unless you're wearing a hot pink shirt or you got a hot pink tractor. Hot pink will pretty well work for anything we want to do. So I've got a hot pink selected right here, and I've gone in here, and if you guys want to see the numbers of it, here it is. You can get your CMYK numbers or your HSB RGB numbers or your whatever, and you can even get the actual hex number right here if you want to match the color that I'm using. Okay, so I'm going to go over here now and I'm going to take the paint bucket and I'm going to paint the back of it. Okay, so we've got the back end of it painted, and I see there's a little line here. For some reason there must have been an edge on the image that came in, so it acted like it came across there as a stop point for the fill. So I'm going to kind of zoom in on this a little bit because I need to correct that. I'm going to grab the paintbrush and I'm just going to paint that in. So now what we have is we have a image of the monitor sitting on a hot pink background that we'll use chroma keyer to pull that hot pink out and show the base video behind it. Now keep in mind that's going to be different than the video that we're going to show in here. Okay. The next thing I want to do is I want to take and just grab my regular eraser tool, and let's just see how big that is. That's just too big. So let's come on down here. Get a little bit smaller. Okay, so that's basically the eraser tool that we're going to use. I'm going to come in here and zoom in. And right here where we have the Samsung, we want to get rid of that. Now I'm going to pull that to a black, or I could come out here and actually select that monitor color. And now we're going to come back up here to our eraser. And let me see, I think, well, I think I'll paint it out. Let me drop that down just a little bit. So I'm going to paint Samsung out of there. Okay, so we got rid of Samsung. Now what we want to do is we want to take our text and we're going to put this in here. And let's drop this way down to say 6 point. I might have to go a little bit smaller, and we're going to grab this up to white. And that looks like a pretty good size. So what we're going to do, we're going to take that and we're going to just center it right in there. Now I could make this smaller too if I wanted to. I could take this, that's a 6 point, and I could take this down to say a 4 if you wanted to make it look more realistic TV wise. Okay. So now that we've got that, here's what we have. So what we're going to do at this point is we're now going to save for web. And again, we want a PNG 24. It's right now it's unnamed. So let's just do this, call it monitor hot pink. That's pretty good, I guess. We'll just save it at that. So now that we've got this built and we've got that image saved out, I'll pull up here in just a minute and we'll bring it into the video editing software and I'll show you how it's used. Alright, now that I have made the little TV monitor with the hot pink around the outside of it, and I've masked out the deal, I've loaded that image into my video editing software. And you'll notice here it shows the transparent background, but up here it shows a black background. That's because it can't see anything behind it yet. I've got this little sample video track muted out. If I unmute it, you'll see that it shows up in the screen. Now the initial problem with that is that this is also a full-size video. So up here you're only seeing a little clip of it. It's being cut off because that video is actually out to the outside of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and adjust that. And we're going to go in here to our pan and crop effect. We could also do it with the track motion here in video, but we're just going to do it with a pan and crop because it's going to show you a little easier. And what we do is we bring this up. Now I'm going to try to pull this down so you can see, or let me put it over here. So what we have is we have that in there. Now, unfortunately, I can't show you, but I have multiple monitors here, so I'm actually looking at this right here out on another monitor in full screen mode, so I can see a little bit better, but you don't really have to have another monitor. Now, initially, you know, in Vegas movie studio, you're going to, when you go to resize this, you're going to think it's backwards in the way that you move things. But it basically, it's this area around is the size of the screen. So we want to make that smaller in the screen. So we're going to grab this and we're going to pull it out. So you can see that as it's pulled out, it gets down to the deal to fit within the screen this way. And from side to side, now we need to adjust it up and down. So we're going to take this and we're going to pull it up. And if I was to type it in, I'd probably get it just right. But that's close enough for this example. So that's really all there is to it. Now we'll drop out of that. I'm going to temporarily mute the audio because we don't need to hear that. And let's bring this back. And now when we play this, you can see that the image is inside the TV monitor. So this is the first part. We're making this as a separate video. We'll chroma key out the hot pink in the next step when we pull this into the main video that we're going to make. So at this point here, we would come up here and make movie, and I'm going to do MP4, and let's do advanced options, and let's browse because I want to pull this. Let me close that. I'm going to take this over where I'm doing this video. And we've got it there. Now, I've got my little part one. Let's do this. Call this we'll just call it monitor vid for right now. And we're going to render this out. So when this is done, we'll come back and we'll load it into the next step, and we'll move on from there. Okay, we've made that video, which is the monitor with the chroma key color around the outside, and we've placed the video that we want to show in the monitor inside of it. So now we've taken that video and loaded it into our video editing software. So if we were just to go along and play this, you're going to see that we've got this up there. Now it's a little jerky because I'm running full screen and it's displaying on several monitors here. But you know, for the example here, that's perfectly fine. I've placed an image. It can be a solid image, just a stationary image or whatever else. This just happens to be a video loop right here. And so if we were to play that, you see the leaves falling. But you know, it didn't really make any difference. It'd be another video. It could be whatever. The thing of it is whatever is right below this, when we chroma key, select the chroma key color here, which is this hot pink, it's going to key that out, and the video that's behind it, or the image that's behind it, is what's going to show. So what we want to do at this particular point is we're going to come up here and select Video FX, and we want to come down and find Chroma Keyer. Now, you know, your video editing software may have a different way you go to find this, but this is basically what you're wanting. You want the Chroma Keyer. We're using a hot pink. They have some defaults in here, but they're never going to hit the color just right anyway. So we're just going to go ahead and grab the default one, and we're going to drag it down, and we're going to place it on top of this video. And when we do, you'll notice that it's changed this to red. Don't worry about that. We want to go ahead and select the color here. We're going to, in here I've got the eyedropper. I would hate to have to do this by figuring out the colors. I'm going to come down here and just on that video track right there, I'm going to select that hot pink. And you'll see that all of a sudden now our video shows the monitor just kind of floating out in the air in this forest. And we're going to go ahead and we'll go ahead and close this down. So we now have that set up. Now if in Vegas, if you select that and you don't see the image appear behind it, what it is, it's right here. It's a little split screen view. If you click on that, it will then put the chroma keyer down. So now we have this little video, and we got the monitor sitting out here. We would play that again and stuff. You'll see that it's moving along there, like I said, kind of jerking. If I take my deal down here and just select good auto. It'll clean it up a little bit. It'll be a little bit smoother. Anyway, so we've got that. Now what we want to do is, unless we just want this monitor sitting out here in the middle of the screen the entire time, we want to go ahead and move it around. So what we're going to do is we're going to give it some key events here. So we're going to select on our pan, crop, zoom, and we've got the image up there. Okay. If we take this, and you'll see how when I drag that, even though it's showing the hot pink background here, it's only the monitor because we got that other color keyed out. Okay. So if we take, let me back out of here. Okay. We come back to this again, and we do this. We look over here, and what we've got is right here on our width and height, there's the 1920 by 1080, and the center of the screen is 960 by 40. Okay, so if we want to start up in the upper corner over here, and then expand down to here, we want to come back to this. Okay, so let's go ahead and zoom out of here, and we're going to take this and throw it up in there. We got and we're going to throw it up in the upper corner. Let's put it about right there. Okay, so we've got that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come in here, depending on how fast we want it to move, depends on how far down this timeline we're going to go before we put in a key point. And so we're going to select this relatively fast. We're just going to come up here. We're going to select right there. Okay, and we're going to add a keyframe insert. And at the keyframe insert, we're going to come back to this, and we're going to go 1920. And that should automatically go to 1080. And I think it was 960 by 40, I believe. I don't remember. I didn't write that down. But anyway, so when we come to that point, we slide this out of the way. You can see that it moved over here. And we come back over to here. It's up in the corner. Move over here. It's over here. So if we come back to our beginning and we go ahead and play this, now the monitor moves out there. We could go add another key point to move it away. There's a lot of things that we could do here. But this is basically how I do this. Then I'll come in and add my other stuff in the front, the back, and everything else, and complete a video. I know it's a lot of steps, so it seems, but it's really, once you get used to it, really it's not that bad. It's a way to make your videos a little bit more unique and doing some stuff. So that's what it's all about, you know. So I'm going to go ahead and end this one, and in some future videos we'll go into some more detail about some of the tricks that I use anyway, and how to create some of my videos.